Hi, everybody. My name is Bruce. I'm 64 years old, and I've been battling liver cancer for about the last 4 years. The doctor that literally saved my life was inspired to start the Live Again project and asked me if I would like to be involved. I was honored to do so, and we got together and created the interview that's at the beginning of this Facebook page. And I'm going to read you the rest. The response was remarkable and very humbling for me. I was so happy to hear that my story had such a powerful impact on people whose lives have been affected by cancer, both patients and caregivers alike. If sharing my story can help others be inspired and give hope to, or even just makes someone feel a little less overwhelmed by a diagnosis of cancer, I'm happy to share it here. This is my Live Again story. Before the cancer, there was hepatitis C, constant fatigue, and then 4 years of the only treatment known at the time made me feel like I had a case of the never-ending flu and left me in deep depression. I struggled for a while, and eventually my liver function improved and I was feeling a little better. Then came the liver cancer diagnosis. With input from my doctors and family, it was decided a liver transplant was my best option. While waiting for the transplant, I started to hit the gym and make healthier eating choices, thinking that would help with my recovery. I went through days of extensive testing and evaluation to see if I was a good candidate for the transplant. The result, I made it on the list and was given my MELD score. Now that I was on the list, my doctor performed a chemoembolization procedure to hold the tumor at bay. Different states have different scores you must achieve to be considered for a liver. The doctors agreed that I would most likely not make it if I was to wait here in California because the score was so high to qualify. We looked into other states and decided on Alabama. There I wouldn't have to wait. We made airline reservations, arranged for housing, asked our kids to look after our home. We were doing the countless things that needed to be done for our 6 to 12 month stay in Alabama. 3 days before we were to leave, I received a call informing me that the transplant was off and I was to come to the hospital right away. We met with the doctor and he gave us the bad news. The last MRI showed the tumor had invaded the portal vein. That resulted in my being removed from the transplant list. And the only thing that could be done was to be constantly monitored and have chemo treatments when called for. I also learned that my life expectancy was approximately 1 year. My feelings at that time were all over the place. I had some very selfish thoughts, but shortly I came to realize what is really important in life. It's not how long you live, it's how you live. Before I left this life, I wanted to tell each member of my family what they meant to me and how much I loved them. There was not much show of affection when we were growing up, just because that's the way it was in that era. We all loved each other, just seldom expressed it. I wrote letters to each member of the family. The result was a much closer relationship with each of my 3 brothers and my sister. I was treated with another chemoembolization. The first one made me sick. The second one made me sick, and I was burning inside for the next few days. Each procedure made me sick for about 2 weeks. The thought of ongoing treatments made me think about quitting and just living the life I had left close to my family. I was constantly monitored and treated accordingly. In the months following, I received 2 more chemo treatments. Then came some good news. I was told a liver resection that involved cutting half my liver out would remove most of the damaged liver and possibly cure me. The operation was difficult but successful. I was cancer-free. That was the good news. Then came the bad news. It seemed like everything just started sliding downhill. My wife was injured and laid up with a serious back problem. and while she was laid up, I crashed her new Lexus. Then there was a recurrence of the tumor in the same spot. That new tumor was treated with a new technique called electroporation. Many prayers were sent to heaven for me throughout this whole experience, and those prayers were answered. I was blessed with an excellent team of doctors that really cared. The love of my family and my love for them kept me going. God gave me a miracle. I'm cancer-free again. I still have to be monitored for recurrence, but regardless of how the future unfolds, I believe I'm still here because I have more to do in this life. I don't want to say I'm grateful for the cancer, but I have met so many wonderful people, and I learned of the bond between patients with cancer. Cancer is the enemy we are all fighting, so I have lots of allies. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I wouldn't wish cancer on anyone, but what a different world it would be if we could all bond like that. Having cancer strips away all the superficial stuff in life and makes you realize the value of human kindness. As cancer patients, we have countless allies. Everybody hates cancer. I would encourage you to share your story. The reward is a lot of love and a feeling of peace. I sincerely hope this message helps someone, and I would love to hear from you. And if you have a story you would like to share, please email it to mystory@liveagainproject.org or through the website www.liveagainproject.org. It truly does help bring us all closer and makes dealing with cancer a little easier, knowing you have a lot of people pulling for you. Thanks for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.